Gentlemen, what are you prepared to do? No offense, but I don't play well with others.
Big man in suit armor. Take that away. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. If we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn sure we'll avenge it. Dr. Banner, your work is unparalleled, and I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster. Hey.
Marvel's The Avengers. We're finally here. It's finally come. We're finally going to talk about it. I know a lot of you are waiting for us to talk about it. So this has been the film that they have been building up for 4 to 5 movies now. And just when you thought after that first end credit scene in Iron Man, when they just even teased about the possibility, you're just like, oh wow, it's amazing, right? But there's no way it could possibly happen now. It's like it's too risky. But nope, they were adamant that they were going to do it. They were going to try and make it happen. And I had my doubts for sure, even though I wanted it to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be good because, like I said, they just haven't done this before. All these characters, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, they're all totally different characters. And it's just you're worried that some people aren't going to get the attention that other characters do. You're going to be afraid that they're going to be they're going to be different interpretation than what came before, or you're afraid it's going to be another Iron Man 2 where it's just going to build to stuff that doesn't matter. So I remember going to see this in the theater, so excited, but I was so scared. Like, is this going to be an Iron Man 4 with with other characters in it? What was it going to be? It's like, yeah. But man, this movie was freaking amazing. This was so good. Oh man, I haven't had so much fun in a theater in so long. They just got everything right. It's like everyone had their equal time to shine. Like, all the characters, they felt the same as how you saw them when they had their solo films. The villain was really good. It was just it had an insane final act with all the superheroes working together. You bought them working together as a team. But once again, it wasn't as simple as, oh yeah, we got to work together, No, they actually had some conflict, which I was hoping for that to happen, but they did. It's like the story's very straightforward. It wasn't trying to be too ambitious or complicated. It just felt like such an amazing live-action comic book. I felt like I was watching a comic book on the screen. Just a fun, amazing time. Oh, Captain Eagle, what did you think about The Avengers?
Yeah, The Avengers is awesome. Awesome movie. Yeah, just so great to finally see it all come together after 5 movies. To have all 6 of these Avengers together. It was just awesome seeing them do their thing to I don't know, just great setup, great villain. Just this is something that we had never seen before. Bringing together a story, like together in a franchise across several solo movies, and it turned out really great. Thanks, Joss Whedon.
Yes, thanks, Josh Whedon.
Better than Alien Resurrection.
Justice League. Okay, Dr. Nick, what did you think about the Avengers assembling for the first time?
I actually hated this movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Get out right now! Go!
I'm kidding. I love this movie. I just wanted to get Dwayne. I love this movie. I actually saw it midnight premiere with my girlfriend at the time. We actually bought tickets and we saw it midnight premiere, and it's fantastic. They just did a great job. They did a great job. You could tell that everyone in there was just having the time of their life, and it shows. I gotta get on my soapbox, but from an acting standpoint, when you can see that people are comfortable with each other and they're feeling it, it shows in their performance. Like, everyone there was going. Even Mark Ruffalo. This is technically his debut in the MCU, playing a character that has a movie already, and having to convince people that they're still the same character. And he did a great job. And another fun fact, in the scene where Bruce is talking about shooting him, committing suicide, and the Hulk stopping the bullet, that scene was actually filmed. That was actually
a deleted scene
in the Incredible Hulk, in which Edward Norton actually did try to shoot himself, but he turned into the Hulk and stopped the bullet. That scene is filmed, but there's a bunch of fun facts with this movie, like in any lab scene where Robert Downey Jr. is talking and he's just eating a lot of food. That's not planned. He literally hid a bunch of food on the set and just grabbed and just hid him, and he literally was offering people food. That was genuine. And the line where he's talking when he's first on the helicarrier and he says that man is playing Galaga, that's improv. That was actually improv, and Josh Whedon liked it so much he literally put Galaga in the scene. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it now, then
what is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? It's on DVD.
It should be everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You need to go watch it.
I think majority of people have seen this movie. It's one of the highest grossing movies now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just fantastic.
Yes. I would like to start with Mark Ruffalo, since you brought it up. So when I saw that Mark Ruffalo was going to be the new Hulk, I was a bit disappointed. One, because I was really looking forward to see how Edward Norton would play off of the other characters, but I'm not a fan of Mark Ruffalo. I don't like his acting. I don't really like him in any of the films before this. So when I heard he was going to be Hulk, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna go backwards. It's going to be Eric Bana all over again. Because I just feel like I felt like he was a bland actor. It's like, I don't know how this is going to work. Just get Edward Norton back. But the moment he came on screen, I completely forgot about Edward Norton because he was really good. He was a good bit Bruce Banner, and even an even better Hulk. Jesus Christ, I loved him in this movie. Mark Ruffalo was able to have that, that calm, misdemeanor about him, but at the same time, you could feel like there's some insanity in him in a good way. He was able to channel that really well. And his overall camaraderie that he has with Stark, because they're both mad geniuses, just the way they work off of each other is really good, because one is really awkward and one is like, a playboy. So yes, very nice chemistry with these two. Yeah, he really proved me wrong, and yeah, we'll talk about the Hulk stuff later, because oh man. But yeah, just what really surprised me about this movie was how good they got all these characters together. It's like you wouldn't think that someone like Joss Whedon would be able to shuffle all these different characters together and give everyone an equal amount of screen time and that moment to shine, and they did. Thor is still Thor, Iron Man is still Iron Man, Captain America is still Captain America, and you don't feel like anything's out of place. they're all going towards one specific goal. You know, whether intentions that they have of getting to that goal, gets clunky along the way because of course they have their team banter at first because these all are so different opposing personalities. So yes, of course they're going to butt heads at first, but it all felt for the most part natural. There's some where I'm like, I don't know about that. We'll get to that in a second, but overall, just like getting all the characters right was great. Nick Fury was really good too. Pretty much he was just the person to help bring everyone together mainly. But for what the purpose he did, he was still done very well. Who is the one lady that was working with him?
Oh, Maria?
Maria, yeah. I thought she was really good
Summers,
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Maria Hill.
Maria Hill, yeah, she was really good in the movie too. I was kind of thinking she was just going to be like a one-off character in the background, but no, she's a significant character along with the others. Agent Coulson. Oh man, Agent Coulson. He was good in the movie. Of course, he was fanboying out the fact that he gets to meet Captain America for the first time, but he has some really good moments in this film. And it's really sad when he dies. And yes, he's still dead.
No.
He's still dead.
He's not dead anymore. All right. Yeah.
He's still dead.
You're in denial.
I'm in denial. But it's like
he died.
Search your feelings.
But he came back to life in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Oh,
which is
Jesus.
also created by Joss Whedon.
And it's canon.
It is canon.
Oh Jesus!
Search your feelings, Dwayne. You know them to be true.
They were able to resurrect him with alien technology. Something.
Nanomachine, son.
Something. That was in the earlier seasons that he talked about. But he has yet to make an appearance in any more movies. So as far as any of the Avengers think,
as of now,
I heard he's gonna
be back in Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
Since it's earlier in the timeline.
Yeah.
oh, it's earlier in the
It's
timeline.
It takes place in the 90s.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yep. So.
And some future people we'll be talking about soon.
For sure.
Oh, but real quick on, I agree with what you guys were saying on Bruce Banner. I was like worried for continuity purposes. Oh man, how's Mark Ruffalo gonna do? I hadn't seen him in anything before, so I didn't know. And I liked Edward Norton in Incredible Hulk. But yeah, as soon as he came on screen, I was like, yeah, you're a better Bruce. I can get the the calmness, trying to not have any sort of large emotions, like the loner isms. I thought he was better for the character.
Plus, with Mark Ruffalo, you can look at him as Bruce, and you can see when he uses technobabble, it looks genuine coming from him compared to Edward Norton. Edward Norton looks like a guy. He's like, oh, well, use this and use that, and you can tell he's like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. With Mark Ruffalo, it looks like he knows, like, I can do this.
Oh, something else is that, like, I could tell more with this than with Incredible Hulk, that when he becomes the Hulk, you can tell it's Mark Ruffalo. Like, it looks like him still, but it's the Hulk.
They use nice motion capture.
Motion capture.
But they didn't do any motion capture for Hulk and
they didn't.
Incredible Hulk.
I believe they didn't.
I think, like, in the Ang Lee Hulk, it was
Hulk, it was actually Ang Lee himself
who did it, which was kind of weird. And
Ang
then
Lee was the
Ang
Hulk?
Lee was the Hulk.
Why didn't he have Eric Bana do the...
I don't know.
He wanted to do the motion capture for Hulk.
And then it's like the Hulk and the Incredible Hulk was like unrecognizable compared to Edward Norton.
Yeah.
So
And then Mark has done the motion capture for Hulk ever since. And here's another one. You know how in the Parents of the Moneymaker shot with Hulk, where Bruce goes, "That's my secret cat, but I'm always angry."
yes.
And he goes, that's actually that was foreshadowed in Incredible Hulk in the scene where Bruce is meditating and then his eyes go green and he smiles. That's what that's meaning. That means he's controlled the Hulk and he doesn't need to go angry mode. He can just control it now. Plus, that Shannon Incredible Hulk always just.
Oh man, yeah, we'll gush about that final scene.
That scene in Incredible Hulk where his eyes go green and he just smiles. I'm like, ooh, that's gives me the willies.
Yes, we will get to that scene indeed. There's so much that they did right with this film. The villain, guess who comes back? Loki comes back, and this is full mode Loki. This is not the origin Loki. This is him being the full, Loki in his prime, and he was great. A really good villain. He had such a presence. He's charismatic. It's just he's done really well. And they continue the dynamic that he has with Thor in the previous film. Really done very well. It's a good choice to bring him back and have him be the main villain for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is there? There's just so much to unpack.
I got one thing I would say.
What's up?
One thing I dislike in this movie.
Okay.
I hate Captain America's uniform. I honestly hate that uniform. That is his worst costume in all of his appearance. That suit looks so classic on him. I don't know what they were thinking.
I mean, I get they were trying to make it more comic book accurate, I guess. Have a mixture between the corny suit and, like, the suit he was wearing in action in the first Avenger. But it's like, yeah, it just looks like a cosplay uniform. I just don't understand why it's just fabric. It's just light fabric. Why would you use that? Like, when everyone else's suit has more texture and layers, like, then you look at Captain America and it's just like,
Sticks out like a sore thumb.
It's like, I don't understand why you couldn't give him more padding. They fixed that in Age of Ultron, but
from here on out, even honestly, I think his best suit is in the best suit of him is Winter Soldier. But from here on out, they did an amazing job with his suits. But he's just here. It looks
weird. Yeah. Well, I guess going on to negatives right now. I know that Whedon was trying his best to have like a nice fan moments. But by fan moments I mean, ooh, what if we did this? Or, ooh, we've never seen these two fight before. Let's find a way to do that. I just felt like the way they were trying to do fan service in this film, I thought they could have done it better. For example, when Thor tries to take Loki from Iron Man and they're fighting in the forest. Okay, now I'm not saying that they shouldn't fight, but the way that they handled it, I felt was a little bit premature, considering the fact that, in Thor, he learns not to be so impulsive, but, he's the one that starts to fight with Iron Man. And it's, people don't really notice it because, it's like, it's so fun. Oh my god, Iron Man and Thor are fighting for the first time. But I'm just thinking, you didn't have to fight right now. Could have been a better solution. Because I'm going off the impression this is a more mature Thor. This is not the impulsive Thor from the first film. So he wouldn't be just attacking people out of nowhere. And especially when Iron Man was like, yeah, as soon as he gives the cube, he's all yours. Okay, fine, whatever. But no, he's like, no, that's not good enough. I'm going to throw my hammer at your face. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I didn't like the pointless fighting with that.
Yeah, now it was an entertaining fight scene. It was really cool. But yeah, just... We knew that was fan service. We knew what it was. And also, I guess this is getting more into comic book territory, because how is Iron Man still alive when Thor shoots lightning at his suit and his suit's at 800% or some stuff like that? I'm like, oh, come on, guys, come on. Yeah, this movie just turned into a comic book, and I'm like, I'm okay with it. That's fine. But it's just like, come on, guys, comic book logic all over the place.
When I see the pointlessly fighting, it just brings back. bad memories of Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're just fighting for no reason.
Yeah, that's kind of what it made me think of sometimes. And I also I get that it was part of the plot. You know, it was part of Loki's plan, but I still felt like it diverted too much from, you know, the Avengers are assembling, you know, they're supposed to be a team, you know, but there's like unnecessary conflict in Bruce becoming the Hulk inside the aircraft.
Yeah.
And then he's like destroying everything. And it goes on for a really long time. You know, it's like, yeah, I understand he can't control it, but it's like, well, why was the movie written that way? It's like, well, you guys need to be working together, and that I kind of throw that in with the pointless fights.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Loki could have done a better way of getting his plan in motion than just getting the Hulk angry. It's like could have done something a little bit more clever. I mean, it ends up working, whatever he was trying to do, but
It ends up being too precise to where it's kind of a plot convenience that it ends up working out.
Yeah. And I feel like the very beginning of the film, I felt like it was a little bit slow. I mean, it wasn't like, oh man, this is boring, but it's like it's taking its time to build things up when they could, like, you know, have it progress a little bit faster. Like when when Loki escapes with the mind-controlled Hawkeye and mind-controlled Eric Selvig, and I'm like, okay, this dragged on a little too long, but that's okay, because we're getting into stuff really quickly after that. When the logos come up, that's when the film just goes bam, 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 bam. So, yeah, I really like Black Widow in this movie now. She's actually a character.
Oh my gosh, totally different than Iron Man 2.
Yes, very, very good. I wish this is what you started with. But yeah, definitely a much more interesting, compelling character. Hawkeye, he was good, but he was mind controlled
half of the movie.
For half the film.
Once he got out of it, he was
pretty good, and I like the dynamic that he has with Black Widow for sure.
Will we find what happened in Budapest? Who knows?
Well, people really want a Black Widow film, so I'm sure they'll.
Which may happen now.
Which probably will happen. I don't want it, but we're gonna get it. I'm sure all the feminists are going to be like, oh, screw you, you don't like women comic book films. Oh, man, wait till I talk about Wonder Woman one of these days. But no, it's not because of that. Because I just feel like at this point she doesn't need a solo film, because we spend so much time with her in other films. Like at this point it just feels kind of redundant to have a solo film for her. It's like the Wolverine situation with the X-Men films. It's like he's been, part of the films for all this time, and so for them to do a Wolverine film now, it's just like kind of redundant. Oh wait, they did 3? Oh man, Jesus! But yeah, that's just how I'm feeling about it. Real quick, I kind of got off track, but anyway, yeah, I did like Black Widow and Hawkeye in this movie. I wish that Hawkeye wasn't just the mind control person the whole time, but it just helped progress the story, I guess. Let's see. I do want to give credit to Joss Whedon's writing, because this is overall, the dialogue in this movie is very whippy and is very, timed very good. It kind of reminded me of how well the dialogue was timed in Iron Man. It was that good, and just like I said, how all these different characters are able to play off of each other. Whedon did a really good job, getting the core of the characters and, being able to write what these characters would actually say to each other. Very well done. And like I said, it's with all these different characters, it's not like when a snap of your finger they're going to be good working together and it's going to be, yay, we're going to fight the bad guy. No, it's like they have conflicts. It's like, yeah, one's a snarky playboy. One's a freaking soldier out of time. One's a freaking god from another dimension, and then one has a freaking anger problem. So yeah, it's gonna be weird stuff happening with each other. But yeah, I'm going back to what Eagle's talking about. The overall what Loki's trying to do, get Hulk angry. It's like could have done something a little bit better because everyone's like stressing about it now, like Fury and Stark Stark actually wants it to happen, but Rogers and everyone else is just panicking, and then Banner was just like, guys, chill, I'm all right, I'm okay, until an explosion happens. Wait a minute. This person that was very controlled with the Hulk and able to control, when he does it, when an explosion happens, he can't control it.
Well, I gotta say, let's think about this. That explosion, they didn't know what was gonna happen. He was in control, but then literally an explosion happens in your face. You're gonna be like, what the hell happened?
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But he was in control until an explosion happened, and then that's when he lost control.
Yeah, I guess that's a nitpicky thing for me. I was just like, you say you need control, and it's like I'm always angry and stuff like that. I'm just like, this things need to line up a little bit more. But I get that point. I want to talk about when Loki, goes into that freaking museum and just like freaking takes whatever that device he was using and just like stab it in someone's face for like eye recognition, and that music's playing in the background. That was a great scene.
A family picture.
It was a family picture. See, Marvel, it's okay to be dark. It is completely fine because that scene worked really well. And then you have Captain America coming in to try and fight Loki. Of course, it doesn't work. And then Iron Man comes in with his AC/DC, and it's like, your move. Go ahead. I dare you. And it's like, good move. And then the simple exchange between Cap and Iron Man. It's like, Mr. Stark, Captain, that's all you needed. That's all you needed. It's like, the movie didn't overindulge itself too much. It's like it knew what moments to put in, like what the scene needed. It just little bits like that. It's like, that's very, very good. Okay, so I know what we all want to talk about. That fight scene in New York. We all wanted to talk about it. Oh my goodness, what a freaking thrill ride that whole scene was. Starting when Hulk just walks up to that giant metal like thing flying, and then Cap's like, hey, now's a good time for you to get angry, Banner. And then he's like, yeah, that's my secret. I'm always angry. And then he just freaking morphs into the Hulk and puts that thing on the freaking pavement. Oh, that's amazing.
That's the music too, the swell,
out of most scores in the MCU that is forgettable, that Avengers theme, that is really good.
He used it 3 times.
Yes, it's just so good. And then you have that panic shot, around all the Avengers, like just.
Oh yeah, I love that
shot. Is a money shot. That's a money shot.
Man.
That is the money. And then also the other one, of course, after Hulk mollywops Loki in that scene.
Oh,
standing there.
And then after the shot of all of them standing and Loki's like, I would like that drink.
No, please. Yeah, just like, and then when you saying that when Hulk was like smiling, it's like Cap's like, hey Hulk, smash, and then he smiles. It's like, yeah. And like I said, he goes in and freaking Loki's like trying to be like, oh my god, you dog creature, and I will not be bullied by him. He freaking pulls him by the leg and just throws him around like a rag doll.
Fun fact: that expression that Loki gives, that is from the director of animation. Pretty much took Tom Hiddleston and shook him like a rag doll, and shouted at him and pretty much yelled in his face. So that's what that shot expression is from Tom Hiddleston.
Wow, that was perfect. Wow, just really funny.
This movie did make me warm up to the Hulk a bit more. just because of that stuff. You know?
Yeah, it's like it's not
It's
always
cool.
doom and gloom. It's like you can have fun with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just really, really good. I liked, and this is my favorite design of the Hulk so far. They really done it well, and I think it mainly was because Mark actually did the motion capture for it, so you see his mannerisms as the Hulk. You buy him morphing into this thing.
Yeah, that was a good choice.
Very, very good choice. It just there's oh my god, there's so many good scenes in that overall sequence that I can't name them all. Just freaking Thor and Hulk fighting together side by side, and Hulk just punches him off screen. That's funny. And then freaking Iron Man coming in and shooting a blaster, deflecting off of Cap's shield to take out other Chitauri, and freaking Hawkeye coming in and shooting something out of point range. Oh man, the whole dynamic of them fighting was just freaking.
They're like going off each other, giving each other rides, and like all this stuff, like working cohesively as a team.
Yeah.
You know, at the end, even though it was kind of chaotic earlier on in the movie.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I do want to point out that I did like that little fight that Thor and Hulk had in
that was
the
a good fight.
helicarrier. That was cool. And then Hulk trying to pick up the
I love
working.
Although I brought up a good point that kind of messed up the scene. Is that what if Thor just put his hammer on top of Hulk?
Yep, that's true.
During that whole
the
thing.
fight could have been over right then there.
You know, just wait till he calms down.
Yeah, so I think that goes back to the whole thing of this is cool to see, but this is fan service for sure. Oh, and forgot when they were fighting in the forest and Cap, tries to intervene, and he's like, then the Thor's like, I'm trying to, take Loki back to Asgard, and then Captain's like, okay, prove it, put the hammer down, and then he's like, you want to put the hammer down? And it's like, you could have killed him if he didn't put his shield up. You could have killed him.
There's no reason for you to do that. Like, don't be ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, I thought you were supposed to progress from the previous movie.
It's like, we didn't is so excited for this movie to be happening that he just puts in all this fan service he wanted to see. It's like, what if this happened with this? This would be so cool. But it's like, come on, you got to calm down, Whedon.
Well,
this is cool.
It depends. What is the time period? Because even though he has progressed, people can progress. People can still regress back to their old ways. Like and plus, this is the first time he's meeting these people. Yeah. Like, remember, he pretty much just knows his folks, humans, and destroy. He doesn't know about a guy who made a suit of armor or a superhuman. So he's like, okay, let's go.
We still don't need Whedon blowing his whole load.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the weed.
Shakespeare in the Park. Does mother know you grab her dress?
I love that
one. The improv.
Dude, the improv is on point, man.
There's a lot of improv scenes in this movie.
Yeah, so it's just so well done.
I know. Another one is when Loki is in Germany and he fires on that police car, and that car that was actually an accident.
Oh really?
It was supposed to flip over and it just skidding along. That was actually an accident.
Oh. And
when the Hulk roars at Iron Man, after Iron Man's sacrifice, that was improv. That was Mark during motion capture and whatnot.
Wow.
There's a lot of improv and it works with this movie.
It works really, really well.
Which is another cool thing is, even though that Loki was the Avengers' first opponent in their comic, he's not actually like what you could say their big bad guy. You know how like the Fantastic Four, their bad guy is Doctor Doom, or so on and so forth. We have yet to see the Avengers' main bad guy, because it's not anyone we've met in the MCU yet.
Oh, it's not Purple Josh Brolin?
Nope, Thanos is pretty much, he's just like kind of like Apocalypse in X-Men. He's just one bad guy, But pretty much the Avengers have one guy, and his name is actually Kang the Conqueror.
Oh
Kang the
yeah,
Conqueror, he's
they
actually
could do.
the Avengers.
Yeah.
Avengers main bad guy, who may be the villain in 4, or they may bring him. We don't know yet, but
I wouldn't be opposed to that if we
Kang,
can't get
yeah.
Doom or
Kang
Galactus.
is pretty cool.
Yes. I guess I should mention the politics stuff because there is politics stuff in this movie because Nick talks to these shadowy figures from the government. I don't know who these people are.
Which one of them is actually like a secretly double agent for Hydra, like the old guy who
Right.
was talking to. Yeah, he's actually in Hydra because he's like one of the head figures in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for Hydra. So that's like a cool connecting thing. It's like they don't even know that they've infiltrated until Winter Soldier.
To Winter Soldier. Yeah. So I gotta address this real quick. So I know people are probably distracted by seeing all these people working together for the first time fighting aliens, but I do want us to keep in mind that I'm sure quite a few people died in this fight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's
People
a
died.
reason why
Died.
this is a big this movie is a big sticking point in the MCU because
Stuff blew up.
Yes. I think they said like 8-10 people died. I'm like,
No.
important people died.
important people
I
died.
think, what did they say? I think didn't they? Isn't there went out even all the way in the future for Civil War? Isn't there? They show how many casualties died in Battle of New York.
Well, they show the casualties for the battle in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keep talking.
Yeah, but it's like I want people to remember this because this is gonna come a factor when I talk about Civil War later. But yeah, it's just
Casualties happen. With
Casualties
every
happen.
single movie.
Yeah.
Casualties
Every
happen.
movie.
Yeah, here we go. 74 people died.
That's a miracle.
That's a miracle. That is a miracle. Jesus.
74 total deaths, including civilians and officers, and $88 billion in property damage.
Okay.
That is the aftermath of the Tatari invasion in the MCU.
Well, I'm not buying that for 1 second. Sorry.
No.
You had a freaking one of those giant metal things topped on top of 5 buildings. No, people died. More than that died.
There's no way only 74 people died.
No. Yeah, it's just no. That's like I said. That's not a big deal right now because it's just cool to see everyone fight for the first time. But this becomes a factor in Civil War, which I will talk about later. But yeah, you got the shadowy figures that Nick is talking to. He's talking about the Avengers we don't know if we can trust them and they should be registered or something.
Why the fuck not? Can't you trust them? They just saved the world.
They just saved the world. Exactly. It's like if they didn't do anything, probably would have had an invasion going on right now. Oh, we do have to talk about when they impulsively tried to nuke the city?
Oh!
Nuke the city!
Yeah, nice call. Yeah.
Like, come on. Dude.
Yeah, whose call was it to nuke the city? Was it the government or was it those council assholes?
I feel like it was one of those council assholes.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Like you're worried about who we can trust, motherfucker.
Like, come on, bruh. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, they're so ready to pull the trigger at any moment. Oh, there's that government song we need.
Oh, yeah.
Government, I'm government. I'm the reason nothing works.
Yeah.
It's blown up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so glad Iron Man came and stopped the missile and put it in that portal in the sky. Oh, and that's where, this plays a factor in the next film where he sees
He's PTSD.
He's PTSD.
Oh,
he sees the thing in space. Oh, well, don't worry. We'll get
The
to
nightmares.
that. Nightmares. Looking at it. Oh, look. I see a giant spaceship in space. I'm going to be traumatized now.
Well, the only thing I will give, a little leeway with is, that he had a near-death experience.
Yeah, I will give him that because
Okay.
he pretty much did nearly die.
Yeah.
That is actually one thing I do really like about Iron Man 3.
It just wasn't handled
They did
the
not handle it
best
well.
way.
Like, Tony is pretty damaged. This movie does have severe repercussions to the entire MCU.
So if it was like a near-death experience and they just left it at that, I would have been okay. But more stuff they try to shoehorn in there, which I will talk about next week. But yeah, and then there was a cool scene where Iron Man is falling down and Hulk catches him in midair. That was nice. And yeah, this movie's just full blown of great moments, and it's a miracle that they were able to pull this off as well as they did, because everyone thought this was going to be a disaster. Keep in mind, this came out around the same time as Dark Knight Rises, and wouldn't you know, people actually liked DC more than Marvel for a point. Because people were looking at Avengers like, oh no, this ain't going to work, this is going to be stupid, and wouldn't you know, this movie worked very well. So, I guess the only thing to talk about now is the credit scenes. The first credit scene, we're in the middle of space where the head of Chitauri is talking to this mysterious figure in a chair. Talking about that, the Earth is not going to be easy to be ruled because there's people that defend the Earth. And so he says that. I didn't know who. Now keep in mind, I didn't know who he was talking to. So I was like, oh, okay, there's probably another baddie for the next film. But then the head of the Tatari says to him, to challenge them is to court death. And then that mysterious figure turns around and smiles. It's that big purple
Boy,
Thanos! Now, at that point,
we knew it was going down.
it was going to go down. I'm like, oh my god, they're going to do Thanos. I cannot freaking wait. And then the second credit scene is a nice little fun thing to have the audience leave with, where all the Avengers are going eating at a shawarma place. That was funny. But yeah, very, very good. The actor who was Thanos in that credit scene,
Was that black guy?
it was a black guy. Yeah.
That's true. I'm actually pulling him up. But it was a mask he wore.
Yeah. It's my second favorite design of his, because I liked Thanos' design in the Guardians films.
Dean Poita.
Dean Poita.
He played Thanos in Infinity War. He was in Civil War, Star Trek, Jarhead, and Snow Dogs. He was in Civil War. He was a mercenary for Crossbones.
Oh, okay.
He was a random guy in Avengers and Thanos. And he was in the Hangover Part 3. He was Drill Hansen #1 in the 2009 Star Trek. And he was in Dreamgirls too, the Dreamgirls movie.
So he has all that material. I really want to see what he would have done with Thanos. I wish they could have kept him, but I still interested to see how Josh Brolin does the character. But yeah, just that was a really cool stinger there. And yeah, I couldn't wait for them to go more into Thanos. And we're going to get him this month for sure.
In a few days.
Lives up to the hype. But yeah, overall, I love the Avengers. It's really, really, really good movie. It met all our expectations when we thought this movie was going to suck. All the characters were great. The story was straightforward. The villain was really good. The action sequences were entertaining. It had some nice timed jokes, good dialogue. It's just all around. It's a really good film. What keeps it from me from being perfect is, like I said, the fan service stuff that they tried to put in here, and the pacing could have been better towards the beginning. But other than that,
This movie also, haven't we talked about before, how this movie doesn't really stand on its own well. If you haven't
oh,
seen the
that's
other
right.
movies.
Yeah. So, unless people don't really care about the previous films, like this movie, you would have to watch the previous films to get caught up with what's happening. Yeah, it doesn't really stand well on its own. But yeah, just if you don't care, then it's still a nice, it's still a fun movie to watch. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's just really, really good time. Very good film. I give The Avengers an A minus. Captain Nagel.
Oh, wow. An A minus.
A minus.
Why an A minus? Because you gave Iron Man an A?
Yes, because I felt with Iron Man, it was more focused on being a film than being, a fan service comic book movie. And I felt the pacing was a lot better in that film. And it stands well on its own. That's why I give it an A minus. Yes, I'm not. Yes, okay. For people that are about to be disliking and commenting, okay, guys, chill, guys. I still love the film, but I think Iron Man is a stronger made film. That's not taking anything away from the Avengers. It's still a really good film. I just felt like Iron Man was more of a focus project. That's just how I feel. Still gonna get dislikes, comments here. I just type them. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe you said Iron Man was the Avengers is the best comic book film of all time. Nothing's better. Except Dark Knight is awesome. Okay.
No, hopefully people can be understanding.
I hope so. Like I said, I love the movie, guys. I gave
great.
it a positive review still. But anyway,
Trying to think if there's anything else that we didn't cover. It should be said. I don't know. Yeah, it's a great, entertaining film. Probably give it an A or an A minus. It's like pretty much on par with the first Iron Man for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you gave it A minus too. Oh no, it's the greatest comic film of all time.
Oh my gosh.
Dr. Nick, what did you give the Avengers?
I love this movie. I loved this movie. The only things honestly, I give it an A. Slightly, a smidge, a tiny smidge of nearly A plus. And I don't really give things A pluses, so I'm giving a solid A.
Good. So yes, that is our thoughts on the Avengers.